Han Seo Hee, the biggest troublemaker in K-pop history. When her dream of becoming an idol failed, she dragged the entire industry into the dark world of banned substances. Don't be fooled by her innocent face. She used her charm and sharp wit to ruin the lives of many idols. She pushed T.O.P out of the industry, got Blackpink's founder Yang Hyun Suk into serious trouble, and caused Wonho to leave Monsta X. After what she did, nothing was ever the same again. Han Seo Hee was born on January 22nd, 1995 in Seoul. According to some sources, she grew up in a wealthy family. From a young age, her luxurious lifestyle was reflected even in her social media posts. Expensive handbags, branded clothes, luxury cars. Ever since childhood, she wanted to be on stage. As someone who loved being in the spotlight, the K-pop world seemed like the perfect place for her. Han's journey to becoming an idol began in 2011. At only 16 years old, she auditioned for JYP Entertainment. Out of thousands of hopefuls, she stood out and ranked first. However, despite being such a talented girl, she didn't end up signing a contract with JYP. As a result, she had to leave the company, cutting her training short. In 2012, she joined the talent competition Birth of a Great Star 3 on the MBC channel. Han did not make it into the final 12, but her performance caught attention. With her dazzling appearance, stage presence, and confidence, she got on the radar of many companies. After the show, she received offers from multiple agencies. Finally, in 2013, Han Seo Hee joined Pledis Entertainment as a trainee. But life there was far from easy. She later revealed that they trained 12 hours a day, weren't allowed to drink water without permission, were constantly watched by cameras, were sleep-deprived, and lived under continuous pressure. This exhausting environment wore her down, and within a few months, she left the company. Afterward, she moved to Source Music. She trained with the group that would later debut as G-Friend. However, for reasons unknown, their paths split just before debut. Han then transferred to Jellyfish Entertainment, where she was set to debut with the girl group Gugudan. But before the group could even debut, she left training. The company announced that she was removed for failing to follow the rules. Let me jump in here. If you'd like to see more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and support me. Thank you! During this period, there were other companies where she allegedly trained, but most of these claims were never documented. It was said that she had trained at YG Entertainment, but YG denied this. Despite all her efforts and attempts, Han Seo Hee could never debut. 6 full years had passed since the JYP auditions, and yet she still hadn't found her place in the industry. At this point, Han's life took a completely different turn. Since she couldn't become a K-pop idol, she set her sights on something else: power and control. She had been in the industry for years, knew everything and everyone inside out, and had strong connections. She could reach anyone she wanted at any time, and she found a way to use those connections. She would start dealing in banned substances within the entertainment scene. She was no longer just trainee Han Seo Hee. She was transforming into a figure who would shake the South Korean entertainment industry. She would ruin the careers of many idols and cause chaos throughout the scene. Han Seo Hee's stormy story was only just beginning. According to claims, the reason Han Seo Hee couldn't secure her place in the industry and kept leaving companies was her own dependence on banned substances. In other words, she was already very familiar with this world. She took her first step into this new career plan by working at an extremely prestigious nightlife establishment called 10 Pro, known for serving some of Korea's wealthiest clients. Allegedly, Sohee was one of the women working there. This is where things get really interesting. Very wealthy people frequented this club, and since Sohee wanted to sell banned substances, this place was practically tailor-made for her. It is claimed that during this period, while working at these venues, Han Seo Hee met YG Entertainment's founder, Yang Hyun Suk. By the way, I refer to 10 Pro as a nightclub, but many sources describe it as an adult venue. I wanted to note this detail because if Han Seo Hee really worked there and Yang Hyun Suk visited the place, the story takes on a completely different dimension. It is even said that the two met frequently there. When these allegations surfaced, Yang Hyun Suk's lawyers did not deny that meetings took place, but they stated that he and Han Seo Hee only met there there for business purposes and insisted that there was never any personal relationship between them. Now, you might be asking, why would you meet for business in such a place? Why not in a cafe or a restaurant? Honestly, I couldn't make sense of it either. But in Korea, when people want to hold secret meetings, places like this are often chosen. Perhaps because there are no cameras, no prying eyes, and nobody to notice. At this point, it's really left to your imagination. Han Seo Hee herself once explained, I met Yang Hyun Suk through Tenpro Madam Jung. I was given 2 million won just for sitting there for 3 hours. Let's set that information aside for a moment and talk about how Han Seo Hee began to disrupt the lives of people in the industry one by one. The year 2016 was the real turning point for Han. What happened that year also shook one of South Korea's largest entertainment companies, YG Entertainment. It all began with BIGBANG member T.O.P. According to some sources, T.O.P. first saw Han in a cafe and was struck by her beauty. Through acquaintances, he reached out to her and the two quickly grew closer. Their relationship began in October 2016. In March, a former stylist of 2NE1 was caught using banned substances. For months, the police had suspected YG artists, and now they had evidence to pursue further investigations. Many of the company's artists were questioned and tested. At that time, Han Seo Hee was in a relationship with T.O.P. and unfortunately they had used banned substances together. When the investigation expanded, the situation escalated quickly. Han Seo Hee herself was arrested and soon after, T.O.P. was also brought in for questioning due to his connection with her. During interrogation, Han Seo Hee admitted that she had used banned substances with T.O.P. At first, T.O.P. denied the accusations but later confessed. In court, he said that he was going through a difficult psychological period while he was with Han and that he had used the substance in a moment of weakness. As a result, Han Seo Hee received a 4-year probation sentence, while T.O.P. received 2 years of probation. If he committed another offense within that time, he would face 10 months in prison. This ruling was a massive blow to his career. Fans in the Korean public turned their backs on him and he faced harsh criticism. After these events, Yang Hyun Suk sent Han Seo Hee to the US for 3 months, while T.O.P. began his mandatory military service. When Han Seo Hee returned, she picked up right where she had left off. This time, her name became linked with iKON's B.I. In 2016, it was alleged that B.I. had tried to obtain banned substances from Han Seo Hee. The media outlet Dispatch released KakaoTalk messages between B.I. and Han. In these messages, B.I. asked her detailed questions about banned substances and how to get them. When these messages were revealed, the police launched an investigation, and this is where things got very complicated. At first, Han Seo Hee cooperated with the police and confirmed the messages were real, but shortly afterward, she changed her testimony. Why? That's the part that shook YG to its core. According to Han, after she cooperated with the police, a YG representative took her to Yang Hyun Suk's office. There, Yang allegedly confiscated her phone and kept her in the office for an hour and a half, pressuring her to change her statement. He told her that if she didn't, she would never find a place in the entertainment industry. He even arranged a lawyer for her who helped her alter her testimony. Han later said she was scared and felt she had no choice. Years later, a case was filed over this incident, but Yang Hyun Suk was acquitted of the intimidation charges. Still, the scandal shook YG Entertainment to its foundations. B.I. left iKON. Yang Hyun Suk stepped down as CEO in 2019. Company shares dropped and public trust collapsed. At the center of this domino effect stood Han Seo Hee. Yet, interestingly, nothing happened to her. Even though she admitted to the police that she had sold the banned substance to B.I., she never received a sentence. Many people speculated that her wealthy family's influence was behind this. With this chain of events, Han was no longer just a former trainee. She was now seen as one of the most dangerous figures in K-pop. She had shaken giants like T.O.P., young stars like B.I., and even one of the most powerful men in the industry, Yang Hyun Suk, bringing them all down at once. But this was only the beginning. After the case with T.O.P., Han Seo Hee, still under probation, became much more active on social media. This time, she grabbed headlines again through her relationship with Yoon Da-eun, a former TV personality. In conservative Korean society, the open declaration of a lesbian couple caused a huge stir. The pair faced significant backlash and were socially shunned. The two openly shared every moment of their relationship on social media, even going live together. Some people believed the relationship was purely for publicity. That's because when the rumors first surfaced, Han Seo Hee had denied them, saying, "She's like my sister. There's no way, I already have a boyfriend." Yet just a few days later, she admitted, "We're dating." During this period, Han Seo Hee's name once again reached all K-pop fans. This time, it was because of accusations involving Monsta X's then popular member, Wonho. And once again, Han was at the center of it. It began when Yoon Da-eun claimed that Wonho had used banned substances in the past and had unpaid debts. Shortly after, Han Seo Hee supported this claim. The two alleged that Wonho owed them money and had even been in prison before. These revelations sent shockwaves through Monsta X's career. After investigations, Wonho was cleared of all accusations related to banned substances. However, in a special interview with Dispatch, he admitted that he had previously been on probation for other reasons. Starship Entertainment tried to control the situation, but with public pressure mounting, Wonho announced he would leave the group so as not to cast a shadow over Monsta X's success. His departure devastated fans and fueled anger toward Han. Many believed that every time Han appeared, another idol's career was destroyed, and they weren't wrong. Later, Han and Jung Da-eun set their sights on Shonu. They accused him of having a relationship with a married woman and even shared alleged messages. Starship Entertainment explained that Shonu had no knowledge the woman was married and that before their relationship began, she was not in fact married. This helped Shonu avoid blame, but the drama didn't end there. Around the same period, Han also made other slanderous remarks about different K-pop idols. Her Twitter and Instagram accounts kept getting shut down, but each time she returned with a new one. She went live, sometimes crying, shouting, sometimes filming herself meditating, and then suddenly attacking another idol. Because Han Seo Hee was on probation, she had to undergo periodic tests to determine whether she was using banned substances. In 2020, one of these random urine tests came back positive. This meant she had violated the conditions of her probation. Han's defense was unusual. She claimed the test cup had fallen into the toilet and become mixed with someone else's sample, but the court didn't accept this, especially since it was proven that only 2 other people had used that bathroom during the test, both of them male. Her story quickly collapsed. As a result, Han Seo Hee was sentenced to 1 year and 6 months in prison. Toward the end of 2022, after serving her sentence, Han was released. She reactivated her social media accounts, once again stirring headlines. This time, she tried to build connections with NCT's Haechan. Later, she even spread rumors that Rise's Wonbin and aespa's Giselle were dating. But after a while, people stopped talking about her. Some former trainees and aspiring idols even admitted they felt ashamed to have once participated in the same programs as her. In this environment, Han Seo Hee became increasingly isolated. Neither the media, nor the fans, nor the industry wanted to be associated with her. Yet she still did everything she could to stay in the spotlight. The scandals, statements, threats, exposés. She tried them all, but could never regain her former influence. Han Seo Hee had become trapped in the chaotic world she herself had created. These days, she still shows up from time to time, but overall, she doesn't stir up chaos the way she once did. So, what do you think about Han Seo Hee? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel and support me. See you next time. Goodbye.